Are you confused about the differences between FSAs and HSAs? Well, you've come to the right spot. Hey guys, what's going on? This is John from Friends with Your Benefits. In today's video, we're going to dive deep into the world of healthcare spending accounts and provide you with the key distinctions on FSAs and HSAs to allow you to make better decisions about your benefits. Stay tuned, you're not going to want to miss this. First, let's go into the basics on the FSA and the HSA. An FSA, also known as a flexible spending account, is a type of account that allows you to set aside pre-tax dollars from your paycheck to pay for eligible medical expenses. It's typically offered by your employer, and the funds in your FSA must be used within the plan year or you risk losing them. And that's where the phrase use it or lose it comes from. On the other hand, an HSA is a tax-advantaged savings account that you can contribute to if you happen to have a qualified high-deductible health plan. Unlike an FSA, the funds in an HSA can roll over year to year, allowing you to accumulate savings for future medical expenses. Now that we have a basic understanding of the FSA and the HSA, let's go over some of the key differences between the two. The first difference comes down to eligibility. With an FSA, anyone can contribute to an FSA as long as it's offered by your employer, and it doesn't matter whether or not you happen to take your employer's medical plan or your spouse's medical plan. On the other hand, in order to contribute to an HSA, you need to be enrolled in a qualified high-deductible health plan. If you happen to have low deductible coverage, whether it's from your spouse's plan or perhaps a second PPO plan, you're not eligible to contribute to an HSA. In 2025, the IRS has deemed that in order for a plan to be considered a high deductible health plan, the minimum deductible needs to be $1,650 for single coverage and $3,300 for family coverage. Let's talk about account ownership. With the FSA, the account is actually owned by your employer. So let's say you decide to change jobs midway through the year. Any leftover funds become your employer's asset. In addition, if you don't use all your funds by the end of the plan year, excess funds actually become the property of your employer. With HSAs, on the other hand, the accounts are 100% owned by the employee. They're totally vested on day one. And it's worth noting that if you happen to change your jobs, those funds will follow you and you own them. Another key difference are the contribution limits. For FSAs in 2024, the maximum that you can contribute to an FSA is $3,200. It's also worth noting that money going into an FSA goes in on a pre-tax basis, and any money that you use for eligible medical expenses come out with no tax consequences whatsoever. So the FSA has a double tax advantage. On the other hand, HSAs have significantly higher contribution limits. For 2025, the maximum amount that someone who's enrolled in single coverage can contribute to an HSA is $4,300. For family coverage, it's significantly higher at $8,550. Now note that this is the total contribution, whether it comes entirely from your employer, you, or a combination of both, which is most common in the marketplace. If you happen to be age 55 or older, note that you can contribute an additional $1,000 on top of these limits. It's also worth noting that the HSA has what is known as the triple tax advantage when it comes to contributions. Money goes in tax-free like an FSA. Also, like an FSA, money comes out for any qualified medical expenses with no tax liability whatsoever. And then the final thing, if you happen to invest money in your HSA, those HSA contributions earn interest tax-free. Now, before we close out, it is worth noting that there is a little secret trick out there to allow you to actually contribute to an FSA and an HSA at the same time. Now, while it's worth noting that you can't have a general purpose FSA and contribute to an HSA at the same time, there's something out there called a limited purpose FSA. With the limited purpose FSA, you can set aside funds for dental and vision expenses and simultaneously contribute to your HSA. If you want additional details on how the limited purpose FSA works, click on the link on the video in front of you. Now, we want to hear from you guys. When it comes to open enrollment, have you decided to put money in either an FSA or an HSA? And if you did, what was the overall experience like? Comment below.